While NASCAR takes the next 2 weeks off for the Olympic break, we continue rolling on in the heart of the chase here in the 2024 Wawa Cup Series, and we're going to have all sorts of athletic events with these race cars on these next two courses. It's Road America this week, Watkins Glen next week, but we begin here in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for the final 6 races of the season. This 4.048 mile road course in eastern Wisconsin produces some of the best road course racing around, and the Sprint Series race that we had on Wednesday will absolutely prove that for you. Will we replicate it here today? How will it shake out in the championship? And who's going to get the race victory with our third road course race of the season? It's the Storm Bowling 400K here from Road America, the 25th race of the season in the 2024 Wawa Cup Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Road America. We are here, one of the greatest racetracks in the world. Absolutely love this road course, and it produces some of the best racing that we get. So many different characteristics. It's very fast as well, and these guys are going to fly through these 16 laps here today. But the big story coming into this race, you saw the qualifying order on Wednesday. You saw how deep in the field Blaine Keys is, and even Rogaldorn not too shabby, or not too good, I should say, in qualifying either. And it's going to open the door for guys like Matt Tuck, Nicholas Samedeo, Thomas Tronson, Kirsten Bell, Ludovic Charette, Jack Haas, who are all kind of up there starting in this race to rebound and maybe have a shot at really getting this championship into play. But it's going to be a fascinating race to see. 16 laps here at Road America. While they will get through it pretty quickly, each lap takes well over 2 minutes to get around here, and it's going to be fascinating to see if Blaine Keys can work his way from the back to the front, especially considering how strong he's been the past 2 races. He does not need, and he cannot afford, another bad run. Join alongside Igar Breda for the call of this one. You have another driver yourself in this championship battle with Drew Webb. Of course, he has not had the chase that he had last year, but he's also back there with Blaine Keys. So for Drew Webb, for Blaine Keys, what do they need to do to work their way from the back to the front here in these 16 laps of Road America?
Well, Road America is a track with a lot of straights and heavy braking zones at the end of the straights. So mainly the main thing to get some good overtakes will be to get into the draft of another drivers into the straight, and then just brake later than everybody else in the corners. Make the move stick though, try not to crash obviously. But honestly, this is the main thing. You also have strategy. The race here at Road America is a two-stop race. Obviously it's a long track, so there's plenty of opportunity of overtaking, mainly into turn 1, turn 4, and the Canada corner. So obviously, these guys have to use every opportunity that they can to get the most overtakes possible, and obviously try to make the best strategy so they can get the most spots possible in the pits as well.
And it's going to be fascinating to see how those 2 pit stops end up playing out, because one interesting thing about this place is that tire wear is not very significant now. It still comes into play a little bit, but we only really see a couple second fall off with the slowest times here, and compare that to where we were at IRP a couple weeks ago, and Nicholas Samedeo, who by the way starts in the pole for this race, got that win and tied Zachary Fitzwater on the all-time wins list. Fitzwater starting top 5 or top 6, I should say, in this race as well. So this is going to be fascinating to see if one of those guys ends up going to victory lane, overtaking the other on that all-time wins list. They come into this race tied with 28 career wins on the channel each, both looking for number 29. But we also have some other guys who love to get a race victory, including your driver, LJ Sameto. Bruno Diacomo had a great run at Pocono a couple weeks ago. Laura Chung trying to get her first win in the Cup Series. Tanner Parton starting top 10, mixed in with those chasers up front. Last year, this race was won by Justin Zeidel, a driver who did not make the chase and didn't really have a chance of making the chase. And we were talking on Wednesday about this race being a huge equalizer going through the field. Let's go ahead and give these guys to roll off here from Road America. And we'll take a look here at the points standings coming into the 5th race of the chase. Rogaldorn is still the points leader, but he starts back in 21st here today. He's got 5 points on Matt Tuck, and Matt Tuck's in a great position to be taking the points lead going into his home race at Watkins Glen next week. Of course, we all know what happened to him last year at Watkins Glen, but he could be going into that one the points leader the way things are going. Of course, got the race victory in the Brickyard 400 last week and he would love to get 2 in a row here, and he's got a good chance of doing so, starting in the 11th position. Hey, he started 17th in the Brickyard 400 and won the race from that starting position. Blaine Keys, we know the story with the 41. He is all the way back in 35th starting position for this one. 12 points behind Rogaldorn. We'll have to see if he can rebound from where he's starting. It's going to be a tough one for those guys. But Blaine Keys is definitely the driver who can get it done and salvage a decent run considering where he is starting here today. Jack Haas in the 39 has had a great season in the chase so far. Great chase, I should say. He's had a great season as well, of course. And he's been one of those chase drivers who really hasn't had any bad luck yet. And that's why he's in the position he's in, 17 points behind. Thomas Troxel and Nicholas Sambidio, they are tied for 5th in the standings. Of course, Troxel's got the win at Chicagoland earlier this year. Of course, a couple weeks ago, I should say, when he got that race victory. And that's really the only highlight of his chase so far. And then Nicholas Sambidio, of course, our pole sitter, also 31 points behind. Kirsten Bell starting top 10. She's 34 behind. And Ladovic Charette, outside pole for this race, 38 behind. And just think, if she did not blow an engine at Pocono, she would definitely be up there with Rogaldorn and Naptuck in this title race right now, because that right there easily could have been a 40-point swing. But as it stands right now, she's 38 points behind Rogaldorn coming into this one. But a great opportunity to rebound in the championship, considering where she is starting here in this race. Nicholas Sambidio and Ladovic Charette on the front row for the Storm Bowling 400K. You got Bruno Diacomo and LJ Semedo making up row number 2. Of course, a great opportunity for both of those drivers to get, of course, for Diacomo's case, his first win of the season, and Semedo's second. Laura Chung, Zachary Fitzwater make up row number 3. Both of those drivers still trying to get their first ever Wawa Cup Series race victories. Kirsten Bell and Tanner Parton make up row number 4. And then Philip Torres to the inside, or should I say to the outside of Thomas Troxel. It switches every corner, so. And that's row number 5 right there. Matt Tuck is 11th. Jack Haas is 14th to start this one out. And then a little bit further back, you got Rogaldorn in 21st. You got 99 machine of Drew Webb to the inside of Trey Bartow. Daniel Paulus Jr. 27th, 28th, and 29th back in there. Braden Perez 33rd alongside his teammate. That's a tough break for the home team of Team Williams. Andrew Williams, a Wisconsin native, did not want to see that out of his team in qualifying. And of course, Blaine Keys. I know Aaron Abel did not want to see that out of Blaine Keys in qualifying, but yet there he is, starting 35th here today in the Storm Bowling 400K. All right, Agor. Very strong field up front, but also some surprises and some opportunities at a surprise win. Who do you think is going to get it done here today in the Storm Bowling 400K at Road America?
Let's go for my future driver, Mr. Zachary Fitzwater. Obviously, right now he's tying the all-time wins list with Nicholas Sambidio, and I believe he'll try everything in his power to maintain that spot alone after Sambidio has joined him. But I think Fitzwater with a great starting spot in the 6th place. I think he'll be able to get this win today. They'll have to be Sambidio and also the other drivers around him.
It's going to be tough to beat Nicholas Sambidio and Ladovic Charette, especially 2 chase drivers starting on the front row, both with race victories already this season. It's going to be fascinating to see how this race plays out, because I think we're also going to see guys like Troxel, Kirsten Bell, Matt Tuck work their way through the field as this race plays out as well. 16 laps of action around Road America here today. 2 cycles of pit stops to go along with it. Hey, NASCAR ain't racing for the next couple of weeks, but we are, and we are proud of it here in the Wawa Cup Series. It's going to be a great one, as it always is. Up the hill they go. We're green flag racing here around America. The green flag in the air for the Storm Bowling 400K. Let's see who gets it done here in the 25th race of the season. And a good jump there for both of the drivers on the front row. Look at that switch back out of Laura Chung back in there, 3 wide, and they remain side by side for the race lead here on the first lap of the race. Ladovic Charette trying to take this away from Sambidio, but that 59 has the advantage right here. Your driver, your pick to win, Zachary Fitzwater, looking for 2nd on Ladovic Charette. And here, turn 5, always a tricky corner. And Fitzwater putting the bumper to Sambidio. He doesn't want him to get that all-time wins list top position, as around goes Christian Master. And Rogaldorn's around in the 74 machine. Oh no, that's one of the chase. That's our points leader getting caught up in that one right there. Christian Master looks like he is stuck in the gravel. That is a shame for the 0-0. It looks like that'll take him out of contention for this one. Brain Perez, Drew Webb was also in the middle of that, but Rogeldorn getting caught up. There's some damage on Daniel Paulus Jr. as well. Always chaos here at Road America. And it looks like Blaine Keys got out of that one alive, and that's exactly the break he needed, especially with the points leader getting caught up in that one. You see that in the corner of your screen right there with Rogeldorn back to the race lead. Zachary Fitzwater has fallen behind a bit there as Sam Medeo is trying to clear out ahead of these guys here on lap number 1.
Yeah, Sam Medeo definitely trying to get more wins. I believe this will be his second win of the season. He obviously won the Wawa Winner Showdown this week. So obviously he's got a lot of momentum, but I believe Fitzwater has fire in his eyes. Same as Charette. Both of them Fitzy with an underwhelming season once again, down in 27th in the points, so not a great season. And Charette obviously had the engine blown at Pocono, so he'll try everything under her power to get this win, to get back to the championship fight. Well, Sam Medeo, who's also over 30 points behind the leader, will also try to get to the championship fight, but after Jordan's incident, which we saw, is definitely going to make things somewhat easier for Sam Medeo.
And it's going to be interesting to see, you know, if one of these guys wins now, especially with Rogeldorn and that 75, is Jesse Turner, Daniel Paulus Jr. I mean, Daniel Paulus Jr. can't catch a break in this series, unfortunately, at least in the chase. Now, the good thing for Rogel, even though it does appear he's got some damage to his race car right there, I don't think that thing is off the pace, and he's just essentially, actually, you know, he's got some damage to the rear right there. He got rear-ended in the corner is what happened, and this right here is such a trouble spot. These guys really jam it up in the turn number 5, and they have to be careful each and every time. It gets easier as the race goes along, and they spread out throughout the field, but not the case there. Of course, then again, too, I think last year we had a much bigger wreck in that corner at the start than we did today, so we're making some progress there. Blaine Keys is up to 22nd. That was a huge one there. He moved up 13 positions on that first lap, and he's trying to close in on Matt Tuck, who is definitely, the way it is standing right now, his biggest championship rival. Matt Tuck currently in 11th, just behind Thomas Troxel. And no, it's Fitzwater!
Oh, come on. I jinxed him.
Oh, my goodness. What a jinx right there. That wasn't the quickest jinx of the year, but I tell you what, everyone picks always has trouble. And while he was running in second place, Zachary Fitzwater's blown an engine, and what possibly could have been his best shot at a Wawa Cup Series win all season. Oh no, as Perez just ran right into him right there. It's gone from bad to worse for Braden Perez in this one. His best chance of winning a Wawa Cup Series race this season has gone up in smoke. So that's going to open the door for Ludovic Charette to try to close in. LJ Cimento, Philip Torres, Bruno Diacomo, Kirsten Bell, Tanner Parton, Thomas Troxel, and Matt Tuck, the top 10. Logan Williams is actually in the top 10 right now as well. Great run for one of the Williams brothers, at least. And his brother Andrew is not having the best runs with his two drivers right now, but Logan would love to get the race win here at Road America. It being his home racetrack with the Culvers on board. Hey, this should be the Culvers 400K, but it's always been the Storm Bowling 400K, so we put Culvers at Michigan, not too far ahead. But Nicholas Samadio's got a 2-second lead here ahead of Ludovic Charette, and now that the second-place driver is blowing up, Samadio has a pretty clean racetrack ahead of him, pretty clean racetrack behind him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Samadio with the poor luck of Fitzwater. Now almost a 2-second gap to Charette is second. Semedo almost 3 seconds back. So if Samadio can maintain his pace, have a good strategy, he has like one-hand the victory already. And the main problem for him is that Matt Tuck is not that far behind. So right now he's probably gaining about 15 points, which will still close the gap a lot. But it's just not...
Oh no! And now Logan Williams is off the race course through the carousel. We saw this a lot on Wednesday in the Sprint Series. We've seen it here so much before. And Logan Williams, he's not going to be knocked out of the race, but he's got some left side damage, and right around Blaine Keys right there as well. Oh, brother. It's always something, isn't it? Tell you, this racetrack eats up some of the best drivers each and every year, and it's always a treacherous race, especially for the chasers. And guys like Sam Benio and Charette, they've got to be a little nervous because, like I said, it's just not a lot of room to run off here, and the carousel is one of those spots where there's not enough room to run off, and Logan Williams has some damage there, and when he comes down the pit lane, which will probably, he's going to stay out there, but he lost a lot of ground, and when he is on the pit lane, he's going to have to repair that damage.
Yeah, definitely poor luck to Logan Williams. Pushed probably too much throughout the carousel, which is a corner that you have to take cautions along right-hand corner, so it's definitely easy to get on a power.
And someone else off. It's Williams again.
Oh, it's Williams again. Uh-oh.
Yeah, he's
not
just struggling out there now.
Yeah, quite sad for him. Considering especially it's not only his, but his family's home race, and everyone of the family is struggling right now. Logan, along with his brother's team, it's honestly quite sad to see.
Yeah, and definitely not the race they wanted. I'm sure they're ready for the season to be over, especially at Team Williams. It's not been. Oh no! And again.
Oh, Brian Webb.
And Brian Webb just overshot it there. I think he might have gotten sent by Bartow. It's just been pandemonium in the back of the field. Yeah, Drew Webb back in there. Trey Bartow's back in there. Rogaldorn's back in here, the points leader. But a lot of these other chasers who are in the back of the field are already deeper in the points, and it's just the way it goes sometimes. Blaine Keys, though, he's the guy who has rebounded fairly well, at least from where he started in this race, 21st right now, and he's got a good shot at a top 10 here today, and that is not exactly what Matt Tuck wants. And now Matt Tuck, of course, has to run a clean race as well. This thing is far from over. Keep in mind, this team, Grattan Autosport, won this race a year ago as Philip Torres makes a move on LJ Cemento. I know you don't really want to see that, but at least your driver's still on the racetrack there. Good battle here between Cemento and Torres will clear for position. But as I was just about to say, this is the car right here, Ludovic Charette's driving, that won this race a year ago with Justin Zeidel. Grattan Autosport very strong here at Road America. That is shown right now as both of their drivers are in the top 10 right now. Of course, they still lead in the owner's standings. And you know what? It's a good shot that Ludovic Charette or even Matt Tuck, especially if the cycle of pit stops shake out a certain way here, because we still got two of those cycles coming up here. We haven't even gotten to a cycle of pit stop yet. And it's already been a wild race in the back of the field. Christian Masters 2 laps down. As some guys coming down right here, just might as well come down if you're in the back of the field, maybe try and undercut. Rogaldorn being one of those drivers is not a good day for Rogaldorn, getting spun on the first turn, or should I say the first lap of the race in turn 5. A lot of guys coming down right here. A lot of these guys do have damage from some incidents that have occurred on the racetrack, but the window is open right now for these guys to make it on 2 stops, so why not try to do something different than the race leaders, as Matt Tuck and Thomas Troxel try to get around Tanner Parton right here. Tuck running 8th right now, Troxel running 9th. Both of these drivers still very much in championship contention. And here's our defending race winner of the Storm Bowling 400K, Justin Zeidel, running top 10 right now there for Racing Motorsports.
Yeah, Zeidel definitely probably knows his way around the track. One last year, running top 10 once again this year. Just behind 2 championship contenders as well, Troxel and Tuck, so definitely a good race for Zeidel. Obviously, another driver who hasn't had the best of season, down 23rd in the standings. So it's honestly a good one for him. So he can have another top 10 and another good result. Maybe get some position as well in the standings.
And of course, he'll be going over to Dracoan Racing Enterprises next year, and that's Laura Chung right behind him for Dracoan. Jack Haas has not really had a good start to this race. Of course, he's only 1 position lower than where he started, down in 15th, but he really hasn't been able to move up like Matt Tuck and Thomas Troxel. Of course, and again, those guys really haven't moved up either. The guy who has definitely made up the most positions is Blaine Keys, who is now 19th inside the top 20, and I don't think we quite expected that early on in this race, but it's going to be fascinating to see how far up he does in fact move up, because he's going to have a good shot at this championship. The way this season's playing out, the way he's been running, Thomas Troxel going to try an undercut right here. He's the only one coming down of these guys as we begin lap number 6 here at Road America. I believe next time by we'll see a majority of the field come down right here. Bryce Egan also down the pit lane as well. And then Rogaldorn took some time to repair that damage, and that 74 machine all the way at the back of the field right now. We'll have to see if he can salvage something in this one, but it looks like we're going to have a new points leader at the end of the day. Alright, I think things are starting to settle out just a little bit. Of course, it's always hard to keep track of everything that goes on here at Road America. Such a long course, and So many things going on at each and every one of these corners. Kind of hard to keep up with all the events that happen here at Road America, but one event has been pretty normal. Nicholas Samadeo has led every lap so far in the Storm Bowling 400K and running a very smooth race ahead of Ludovic Charette by 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, definitely Samadeo, definitely dominating this race. Like we said at the start of the race, he also tied Fitzwater this week as the all-time winningest driver in the whole channel. So definitely a great achievement. He's now trying to get the spot alone, but you also have to think Perez has been doing a good race. If we remember back to the end of lap two, Charette was down almost 2 seconds on Samadeo. So even though the gap hasn't shrunk a lot, it's definitely down half a second. So Perez still has a great shot of winning this race, so we can't discard her yet.
Oh, not at all. For Dylan Matthews on Wednesday, she was a little bit further back on Matt Black in that one, and we all know what happened. Well, you don't yet, Igor, but she came through off that cycle of pit stops, was right behind Matt Black, and on the last lap got the pass made, and you know what? Ludovic Charette's going to close in on Nicholas Samadeo after this cycle. I feel like that 51 might be a bit better than the 59. Here we go for our race leaders. I don't think anyone's staying out right here. This is the window of opportunity for these drivers to come down. And right sides only. That's how we expected it to be. And Ludovic's still on the pit lane, a little bit slower than they would have wanted, but obviously want to make sure everything's good. Charette's going to lose some time, but maybe not necessarily lose any positions. I'm intrigued to see where Thomas Troxel slots in, because he was top 10 when he came down the pit lane. We'll see where he ends up slotting out with the rest of these drivers right here. And it looks like he's going to get ahead of Bruno Diacomo, Matt Tuck as well, and may have some momentum to get around Kirsten Bell and all this too. But Nicholas Samadeo, that was perfect there out of the Appalachia Motorsports team. And, you know, historically this team has struggled on pit lane, but they came in clutch right there, and now they only got to do it one more time and hope that their driver doesn't go off the edge here at Road America. Of course, Nicholas Samadeo, one of the best drivers on the channel, and if he wins this race, would be the all-time winningest driver as well. So you know that's on his mind. He'd love to get this one and move up in the title race. It could be a perfect storm for Appalachian Motorsports here today. But Ludovic Charette's still second. Christian Master a couple laps down after getting spun on the first lap. How about Philip Torres here for Rut Racing? Philip Torres is going to be joining Hairsville Motorsports next season, and this is a guy who, as of late, has definitely found some more speed and is starting to crawl his way up in the standings. 24th in the standings. Hasn't been the best of seasons, but you know what? Has been a solid year for Philip Torres, and he's definitely been finding some good runs as of late here, and definitely going to be interesting to see what he does in this one, because he's got a good opportunity. LJ Semedo is 4th. Kirsten Bell, Thomas Troxel up to 6th. Great run for Troxel. Remember last year, Troxel started deep in the field and stayed there the whole time. Well, he is definitely having a better run in this one this year at Road America. Then it's Bruno Diacomo. Matt Tuck still there in the 9th position. Nah, he's in 8th. And then Tanner Parton has fallen a couple of positions right there with Seidel in 9th, and then Tanner Parton rounding out the top 10. Roberto Crown Jr., Bruno Diacomo, or should I say Bernardo de Oliveira, Bryce Egan, Laura Chung, Samet Oskin, Travis Crampton, Matthew Hubert, Avery Alford. Here's Blaine Keys in the 41. We'll see how it ends up cycling through for the 41 once we cross the line this time. Jack Haas has fallen back some more. Not a good race for Jack Haas in the 39 machine. Matthew Hubert going on Travis Crampton right there. And how about that race lead for Nicholas Samadeo? Nearly 4.5 seconds on Ludovic Charette here. As next time by, we'll be halfway through the Storm Bowling 400K.
Yeah, this difference just shows what a great pit stop was for Appalachian Motorsports. And honestly, what a great job Samadeo has been doing. But what about Blaine Keys? This guy started down in 35th. He's already in the top 20, I believe. So honestly, he's definitely trying his best to maintain himself in the title fight. Obviously, with Matt Tuck in the top 10 right now, Tuck's probably gaining around 10 points over Keys, but still, Blaine Keys definitely showing a lot of pace, and he'll be a title contender until the end. Obviously, he's been having some bad luck here and there, but hey, Drew Webb last season still had some bad luck here and there and still got the title, so why can't Blaine Keys dream as well?
And Drew Webb is actually further ahead than where he started. Currently running 27th. Of course, had some skirmishes early on, but unfortunately for Drew, it's just not been the season for him. Of course, he had an issue at Pocono, broke a fuel line at Pocono. They had to get that replaced. And got wrecked out at Chicagoland as well. It's just not been the best of starts for him. And it's going to be a little bit harder to rebound from the bad luck he's had this season than how it was for him last season. Of course, last season in the chase, he was just lights out each and every week. And he managed to still win that championship, which I know you guys are very proud of. I know it's sad for him, sad for you to see him go, because definitely gave you some of the best moments for that Titan Fury team. And I would like to mention your team here. Your team is one of the longest running teams in this series, and if you want to add along the old Chick-fil-A Cup Series days when we started Customs all the way back in 2018, you were one of the teams back then and still running, so great to have your team still running in the highest level on the channel up to this point. You're adding Zachary Fitzwater to your team next year to replace Drew Webb, and excited to see what you guys do. But you know what, you're number 2 on the owner's wins list, only behind Derek Hamill. So definitely, you got a lot to be proud of there with your organization, and we love having your team here in the Wawa Cup Series, along with all these other teams. So many personalities in the Wawa Cup Series, and that's what makes it so great. And Ludovic Charette closed in half a second on that last lap there for Grattan Autosport, and that's the team Drew Webb will be joining next season, so we'll have to see how that ends up shaking out in 2025, but Ludovic Charette, we'll have to see how this one shakes out for her, because she's still got an opportunity at getting around this 59 machine. And you know what? We saw what happened on Wednesday. Dylan Matthews closed in on Matt Black from about 3 seconds and made the pass on the final lap, and we've got 8 laps to go, and that's a long time here at Road America.
Yeah, but Charette seems to have more pace than Samudio right now. It took all about half a second the last lap, so Charette seems to have a lot of pace. The main question is will she have enough time to close with Samudio? And how will the second round of pit stops influence this gap? Because if, once again, Samudio has another great pit stop over Charette, I don't think Charette will be able to get this win. But if the opposite happens, Charette then has an amazing shot to get this win. And both of them are trying to get back to the title fight. Obviously, whoever wins will get a bigger edge on Matt Tuck with the provisional championship leader now running the top 10, so obviously both of them will try their best to get as much points as possible and get back to the title fight, as well as another driver who we haven't talked about, but he's even ahead of Charette in the standings and is also getting some points on Matt Tuck, and that is Kirsten Battle. If we think about it, it's ahead of Charette, and honestly, might still be a dark horse for this championship.
She hasn't had the best of runs in the chase, some struggles here and there, but she's in that same situation as Sam Medeo and Troxel, and hey, she's right behind Troxel in this one. Hey, we'd like to also mention Thomas Troxel, with that win at Nazareth in the IndyCar Series, joined the 20 Winners Club, and congratulations to him on that. Only 8 drivers have 20 or more wins on the channel, and Thomas Troxel is now one of them. Joining Zachary Fitzwater, Nicholas Samedeo, Jesse Turner, John Art, who was the first one to join that club. Garrett Senor, also a part of that, remember that name. And then we also have ourselves, I forget. Isn't that sad how I forget? There's 2 more on that list, and I can't remember who they are. I'm pretty sure they're both still active. Oh, no, Caleb. Oh, no, Caleb. Did Caleb ever get in that? Elijah Gordon, I think, might be up there. I don't know. Man, I literally just updated that wins list, and, now I don't even remember who's up there. Yet y'all watch me like crazy, so I guess I must be doing something right. But how about Nicholas Samino? He's definitely doing something right. But so is Ludovic Charette. She's closing in another half second that last lap from this 51, trying to close in. Maybe pressure Sam Medeo into making a mistake. That's definitely a possibility on this race course, where Sam Medeo's teammate Logan Williams overshot the carousel all on his own. So, anything's possible in that regard. And Rogeldorn, definitely a huge struggle for him in this one. Down in 36 right now as our points leader. And as of the way it looks right now, he will not be the points leader at the end of this race. And like you said, Igor, Matt Tuck looking to get the provisional lead right now. He holds the provisional lead in the standings at the moment, as Blaine Keys is trying to close in trying to rebound. Now going to move up into the 16th position if he gets around Matthew Hubert right here. And honestly, if he gets a top 10, that's a win for this team. Because considering where he started, definitely going to be an interesting shot at the championship if he can hold on. Oh, now it's 2.5 seconds as Ludovic Charette is clearly faster than Nicholas Samedeo. Actually, you know what? Pretty sure that Samedeo just came down the pit lane, so they're on different strategies right there. And Samedeo topping off, getting the tires right there, and getting his last stop out of the way. And he's back on the racetrack here, and he may actually be in a good position to defeat this 51, because that number 59 machine is all good to go into the end of the race, and he's clear ahead of quite a few guys, including Thomas Troxel, who came down that same lap, and he's a little ways behind that 59 right now. So Troxel also done with his pit stops, and our second cycle has started here, as Ludovic Charette now currently leads here. We'll see if she gets a bonus point. I'm sure she'd love to get a bonus point, get every point that you can towards the title. Of course, Samedeo has nothing to lose in that regard. He's already locked up the most laps led, so Ludovic Charette trying to get another point right here in this 51 machine, and inch ever closer to her teammate, Matt Tuck, for that championship lead. Of course, Matt Tuck having a good run here, trying to get around Bruno Diacomo for position, but these guys are going to be coming down here shortly as well. So next time by, it's going to be 5 laps to go here at Road America in the Wawa Cup Series.
Yeah, but about strategy now, it looks like Samedeo has the edge. We obviously saw in the first cycle how the undercut Thomas Troxel was so powerful. So Samedeo pitting 1 lap earlier than Charette might just be enough to guarantee Samedeo's win, which honestly might be sad for Charette, but hey, she still made a great race. And to complement that 20-win club drivers, the other two were Elijah Gordon and Matt Dalio.
Matt Dalio. Oh, man, how can I forget my man Matt Dalio? You know, it's been a while since he's raced on the channel, so that might be why, and I apologize.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt Dalio, definitely one of the stronger drivers from back in the day. Oh, I'd love to see Dalio in this series. That would complete the trifecta of the strong drivers from back in the day. We got Bartow back, Jesse Turner's back for the season. Love to see Matt Dalio back at some point in the future.
And
but
just
Ludovic Charette, she's done with her stop right then. And remember, she was on the pit lane a little bit longer that first time around. And with that, she had a much shorter stop that time around, and she has overtaken Samedeo on the racetrack. And they knew what they were doing there with that first stop, and now we're going to have to see if Samedeo can close in on this 51, because Charette has a huge lead. They put enough fuel in there to make sure she can make it to the end. She had 1 fewer lap than Samedeo needed. And now Ludovic Charette is in the catbird seat to win this race here at Road America. Looking for her second win of the season, looking for back-to-back Grand Autosport wins. They got the win last week at Indianapolis with Matt Tuck. Will she be able to pull it off here today at Road America? Philip Torres running in third now. Great run for him. LJ Cimento, Kirsten Bell, Bruno Diacomo, Matt Tuck trying to get around Thomas Troxel. Trying to get as many points as he possibly can. Oh no, Laura Chung. They jammed up in turn 5, and she was the victim there. That's a tough one. She's going to lose a little bit of ground right there. Of course, Christian Master multiple laps down racing with these guys, and hey, Team Williams can be thankful that that 00 is fast at least, right? Not a good race for the Williams family. All 3 of the Williams cars outside the top 30, and Logan Williams himself in 37th. And Rogel still down in 35th, which is huge. That is huge for Ludovic Charette, because you know what? Ludovic could actually surpass Rogel in the points with a win here today. Same with Nicholas Samedeo. But Matt Tuck is the one who is still far enough ahead of those guys where he can still retain the points lead. And we're going to have to see how it ends up shaking out. But Blaine Key's still up here. He's now down at 20. You know, he's not been good on the pit lane today. He's been losing some spots off of these cycles, and that's definitely hurt him. Going to try to make a position here on Angel Gutierrez. I think he's going to get a few positions here once this cycle's through. And Troxel and Tuck continue the battle right here. Matt Tuck absolutely wants to get around Troxel and not have him gain any points. He doesn't want any of these chasers to gain any points. But Ludovic Charette, Nicholas Samedeo, a little bit too far ahead for that to be the case. And now we got the benchmark. 3 seconds for Nicholas Samedeo with 4 laps to go. And that 59 can definitely close it in. We're going to have to see if he can do it.
Well, yeah, definitely the strategy on Grand Autosports was great. And Sad for Tamalio, he obviously has some good pace. Probably not as great as Charette, but now he's behind Charette, and he has 4 laps to recover this 3-second gap, which honestly it's a lot for a short amount of time. But Tamalio is one of the few drivers that, if possible, they'll be able to do it, and we can't doubt that. And honestly, Blaine Keys, amazing race as well, have to mention. He's
Hmm.
also one of the two guys that, if they win another race, they also join the 20 win club
Hmm.
alongside Bartel. So Blaine Keys definitely showing a lot of pace, and I'm pretty sure even though he won't be able to win today, he's looking as strong as ever to maybe get his 20th career win, his Wawa Cup Series title. We don't know, but we still have some races to go, and this race is still not over as well.
It's not. Of course, Matt Took just lost a position to last year's winner, Justin Zaidel. Troxel trying to get around Bruno Diacomo. Of course, these guys are racing for every point they can, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it ends up shaking out. Blaine Keys is up to 13th now, by the way, which is a great spot considering where he started. He has done really the best job he possibly can considering where he started, and it's good to see him not lose out too much. The downside is that Rogel Dorn lost out a lot right there. But also, too, he started where he did, all the way back there in the 21st position, was right in the middle of that, and these two guys, Lazovic Charette, Nicholas Samedeo, they were on the front row for this race, and Nicholas Samedeo only closing in 3/10, so Charette holding the line right now, and we're going to have to see if Samedeo is going to have any opportunity here with 3 laps to go in the Storm Bowling 400K, but he's not going to catch up to Charette at that rate, that is for sure. I'm sure you'd love to see your guy running top 5. LJ Sameto trying to hold off Kirsten Bell right here. Another of these drivers who's right in the middle. These guys, all 4 of these guys who are 31 to 38 points behind are all running in the top 7. They're all having great runs here today, and they're all going to close in on the points lead, but Matt Tuck's going to definitely hold it, and Blaine Keys isn't going to be too far behind. I think Blaine Keys is actually going to move up to 2nd in the points with this. I don't think he's going to lose enough to lose spots to Troxel, Samedeo, Bell, and Charette. So it's going to go Matt Tuck, Blaine Keys, probably Ladovic Charette if Ladovic Charette wins this race, then Nicholas Samedeo, Kirsten Bell, Thomas Troxel. That's probably going to be the order. Rogel Dorn's going to be somewhere behind those guys in the middle around Troxel and Samedeo the way things are looking right now. But, yeah, that's just one race can do that. And, hey, that was the case at Watkins Glen last year, and guess where we're going next? Watkins Glen. An even crazier road course than this one. It's been a very fascinating race here. We're, like I said, we try to catch all we can. Sameto and Bell are having a great battle for 4th right here. And they're getting to the point now where it's just getting difficult to pass. The tires are starting to wear out significantly for these guys, and they really haven't changed them too much in this race. So because of that, these guys are kind of stuck in their respective positions. And Ladovic Charette is still pulling away, still holding on to a significant lead on Nicholas Samedeo. Now 2 laps to go here in the Storm Bowling 400K. And how about this for Grand Autosport? Looking to win this race 2 years in a row with the same car. And Ladovic Charette looking for her 2nd career win in the Wawa Cup Series. We'll have to see if she can pull it off here today.
Yeah, definitely great race for Charette. Matt Tuck as well, the whole Grand Autosport team who's leading the team standings. About to get their 3rd win of the season, 2nd for Charette. Should have been more. We have.
Rain Perez is out in the 23.
Yeah, unfortunate for Perez. Now confirms him practically out of the title fight. But still, we've been showing some great racing, and Bernardo Jr. almost overtaking Matt Tuck, which is definitely not what Matt Tuck wants with 4 of his championship rivals ahead of him. He does not want to lose a place. And you have to think as well, Blake Keys won't lose too many points as well, about 2 points only. Yeah. So the gap between them will be 9 points, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that's going to end up being 8 here with Blaine Keys making a move on Roberto Crown Jr. And they really think those 2 guys would be right on each other in the race standings, but, they just can't get away from each other, can they? Past 2 weeks at Pocono and Indianapolis, they were the 2 drivers battling for the win. They both got 1, respectively. And now Blaine Keys, well, still in a battle with Roberto. Roberto's going for all they can. Had a pretty solid run at Indianapolis last week and got that on strategy. And another solid run here at Road America for him, trying to get some momentum for next season at that team. And up front, it's a clean racetrack for these guys, which that definitely plays in Charette's favor. And Ludovic, Charette, Nicholas Amadeo, they're just too good to make a mistake on this racetrack. And that's why you're not really seeing much of a difference between these two guys. But how about that strategy play at a Ground Autosport? Keeping Charette a little bit longer on that first stop so that the second stop would be shorter. And then jump on the 59 machine on that last lap there of the pit cycle. And that has given Ludovic Charette the advantage. One more lap to go for her, though. And she's got to get around these 14 corners cleanly to get the win. So one more time around here in the Storm Bowling 400K. The distance is still the same between Charette and Samadeo. Nicholas is not closing in at all. They're running identical lap times at this point. Philip Torres is looking to get a top 3. LJ Semedo, Kirsten Bell, Bruno Giacomo, Thomas Troxel, Justin Zaidel, Bernardo Oliveira, and Matt Tuck. And oh no! We got 3 guys coming down the pit lane right here. Blaine Keys, Gutierrez, and Matthew Hubert, and that is not good for Blaine Keys. Some of these guys could not make it, and they're topping off, and that is huge in terms of the championship because Blaine Keys is going to fall back. He's going to fall back just like Rogodorn because of that right there. He moved himself all the way up to 12th, and he ran the fuel out at the end, and that's just part of the strategy here at Road America. You can't run the car too hard, or otherwise you're going to run out of the fuel, especially considering these guys, they don't put as much fuel in on these pit stops trying to get the jumps, and Ludovic Charette did that on Samadeo, but she only had 4 laps to do it on that 59 to make it to the end of this race. And this right here, the trouble spot, she's going to get through it just fine. Nicholas Samadeo as well. Going to be a great point save for both of these drivers regardless, but my goodness. Blaine Keys and Rogodorn, who we thought were going to be 2 of the strongest drivers going into this chase, have had some terrible luck in this race. And this championship bout's going to close right in as we start the second half of the Wawa Cup Series chase next week at Watkins Glen. It is going to be intense there for the Lake Effect Ice Cream 400. And we're going to see another great road course race a week from now. But Ludovic Charette, when the news was made that she would be moving over to Ground Autosport, we all knew it was going to be a great move for her, considering what she did last year at Andrews Racing. And she's going to get her second win with this team here, and it's going to be the 3rd win for Ground Autosport this season, and 2 wins in a row for Stuart Gratton's team. Ludovic Charette wins the Storm Bowling 400K here at Road America. Nicholas Samadeo will finish 2nd, and Philip Torres on the podium here in Wisconsin.
Definitely great racing by the whole, I think most of the field as well. Charette definitely with the best strategy. Just topping off enough in the last stop to get a jump over Samadeo, who tried to do an undercut but just couldn't get it. And honestly, this driver and Rogodorn are the heartbreaks of the race.
I don't think Blaine's going to fall as back as we thought, though. Let's see where he officially finishes here. Still, every point matters in this championship, and Blaine will officially finish in 19th. So he only lost about 7 positions and all that, but that's 7 points. And hey, the championship was decided by 2 points last year, and that could be the championship. Rogodorn in the 74. Rebounding a little bit right there, but still not going to be too good for the Hamill Racing Enterprises team. Rogel will lose the points lead to Matt Tuck, and Rogodorn will officially finish in the 31st position. And Ludovic Charette is going to be right back in championship contention, and like I said, just think if Pocono did not happen to this team, they would be the points leaders and not her teammate Matt Tuck. But Matt going to finish 10th, not exactly the momentum he wanted in this one, but still managed to get a top 10 out of it. My oh my, this is going to be fascinating to see how these points shake out. We've got 5 races left to go. Anything is possible. Oh boy. What a race it was here at Road America. Not much action up front except for the switch off on the pit lane there with Ludovic Charette and Nicholas Samadeo. And Ludovic and the Groton Autosport team had the better strategy. And Nicholas Samadeo, 2nd place once again. But at least for his case, he's going to get a lot of points. And he's back in the championship picture as well. And Igor, I got to ask you, how do you think it's going to shake out now? Because we got new players up front in the point standings, and we've got 5 very unique races coming up here in the next 5 weeks.
No, definitely we're going to have a tie battle. It's not going to be easy. We obviously saw what happened last year with, I believe, five drivers coming into the last race with championship contention. And this year's just looking to be the same. Obviously, Matt Tuck has been getting the best pace and the least bad luck of all drivers in this field. So he'll come into Watkins Glen as a championship leader. But we can't discard Charette. Obviously, she had terrible luck at Pocono. 70 as well, bouncing back to Brock, so Kirsten Bow. Uh, Rogel Dorn, obviously, bad luck today, same as Blaine Keys not having a great strategy. And you still can't talk about Jack Haas even in the title fight, even though he was really underwhelming today. So we right now have like eight potential drivers with a great shot of winning this title. So it's still all up for grabs, but it depends a lot on how much luck and also how much pace will these eight drivers have in the next five races that will define who the champion be at the end of that next Darlington race.
So we've got Watkins Glen coming up. Of course, that's going to be a wild one. Richmond on the short track. Michigan. I don't want to remind you about that one, Igor. I know that's a tough
I
one for
just got
you guys.
reminded.
Daytona. You know how that one is. And then, honestly, the most normal race I feel like that we've got left on the schedule is that finale on Labor Day weekend in the Southern 500 at Darlington, because that race you have to have a good car and a good driver to win it, and it's going to be fascinating to see how it all ends up shaking out going into that one. But wow, Ludovic Charette, this was a clutch win for that team. Of course, Nicolas Sambadia with a great run as well in this one. Obviously, the ones who really lost out, of course, Braden Perez was also already, I should say, a good ways behind him in the championship. But Rogel Dorn finishing 31st, getting caught up in that accident on lap 1. If that did not happen, Rogel would probably have finished around the top 10, around where Matt Tuck was. You also got Blaine Keys losing a few positions there. And considering where he started, it's not the worst thing. He's still very much in contention, but it's just that seesaw that you get, and that's what we had last year. Drew Webb kept on having his issues. He kept on, pulling out and then blowing a tire on the last lap in Michigan while he led every lap. We're kind of going to see that again, only this time we don't really have a clear-cut favorite like we did last year. Drew Webb almost won the first 3 races of the season, of the Chasers to say, last year. And we've had a definite level of parity, I should say, for these first 5 races. 5 different winners in the last 5 races here, but all 5 of them have won races, except for Matt Tuck, before their race victory, but all 5 of them chase drivers, so the Chasers are the best ones out there, and they have shown that so far. We're going to have to see how these next 5 races go. Well, thank you so much for joining me, Igor. A great race here from Road America, and hey, I think there's like an ARCA race on tonight or something, if you want to watch that, but hey, rooting for, I'm rooting for Team USA. I know, Igor, you're rooting for Team Brazil in the Olympics. And, of course, we got a very international flair going on with that. I'm rooting for the U.S. men's rowing team because one of their rowers is from a very local town here in the southeast of Pennsylvania. So definitely rooting for them in that regard. But, hey, whatever you want to watch, you watch it. You watched us, and we're happy for that. Now you have the right to watch whatever you want to for the rest of the day. Thank you guys so much for watching. Congratulations to Ludovic Charette on a race victory here at Road America. And huge thanks to Igor Bretto for helping me out for this one. And here are the points. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, the points halfway through the 2024 Wawa Cup Series Chase. Thank you guys for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.